What's going on, YouTube world and YouTube tribe? Welcome back to LilBigMan Gaming, bringing you. Now, I did debate whether or not if I should do a review for Crown Jewel, since morally ambiguous for a company to host a show, and you know what? Those are topics for another day. But if you feel free in the comments to let me know what you think about that little situation there. We're here to talk about wrestling. That's what we're here for. That's what we're going to do. Because I love wrestling. Whether or not it's in a place that we don't agree with stuff, we're here for wrestling. So, Crown Jewel. Now, I know that in the pre-show, I want to talk about this first because I didn't see it, but I heard that in the pre-show, it was the Usos versus the Hurt Business. So it made sense to me. It made sense later on when I saw them later on. So I'm like, oh, okay, they was there, and they had a pre-show match with the Usos. So we kind of did get the Hurt Business versus the Bloodline in a way. It to my recollection, I think the fans wanted to see like Roman Reigns and the Usos versus Bobby Lashley and Seth and Cedric. We got it somewhat, so I guess that's something to be happy about. So we're gonna give that a very good rating of But yeah, so on to the main card of Crown Jewel. The first match of the night was Edge versus Seth Rollins in Hell in a Cell. This match was by far the best way to start a pay-per-view. This match was hands down probably the match of the night. I probably have to go through this to see just to make sure, but I'm pretty sure I had this as match of the night because I don't think no match was ever. I mean, it was close ones, but I don't think it was all. I don't think nothing topped that match. But yeah, this match was every bit of brutal, every bit of how far they could stretch the PG version of the Hell in a Cell match without it going, extreme with the blood and the pain and the suffering. Even though we still got that eventually, but not in this match. I would say we didn't get that eventually in this match, but later on match proved to be more I want to say it wasn't even PG that match. We'll talk about it later on, but I want to say it was PG because there was a lot of blood. But I haven't watched SmackDown yet, so I'm gonna watch SmackDown. But yeah, this was one hell of a start. I mean, Seth Rollins, and I think they even trade. I think they trade like signatures. I wouldn't say they trade finishers. Well, yes, they did. Cause I think, because the way how Edge won the match, he used Seth Rollins' finisher. But I would say Seth Rollins at one point used the Edge-O-Matic. He used the Edge-O-Matic on Edge. So that's technically like a signature, not his finisher. But Seth Rollins would go to the well one too many times, and he wrapped the chain around his foot and kept super kicking Edge, and then when he went for the stomp with the chain around his foot, Edge would making him land making him land crotch first onto the chair, and he would use that to basically beat up on Seth Rollins and use the chair. Instead of doing like a chair toe, he would put Seth Rollins' face on the chair and then use Seth Rollins' stomp to seal the victory and I guess end the feud. Though Seth Rollins, with things with Seth Rollins don't always go as the plan, so it's like he might want to continue the feud now because he didn't end it. It ended with Edge with the victory. So this is Edge 2, Seth Rollins 1. But yeah, this was a great way to start the night off with a great match. I mean, this match was 10 stars, man. 10 stars match. The next match would be Mansoor versus Mustafa Ali. This was a good match in itself. Mustafa got the hometown pop, and it was good to see Mansoor, having some type of push, since this was his whole time. I think they even reminded us how that when we first seen Mansoor was at a Crown Jewel event. This match been pretty much expected. I mean, it was predictable who was going to win, considering what led up to it. But yeah, Mansoor would get the victory over Mustafa Ali, but Mustafa Ali, embarrassed that he lost to Mansoor in his hometown. Would start beating up on Mansoor. I think they said too this was like the first time two Muslim wrestlers went against each other. I want to say either at all or just at the Crown Jewel event, something like that. They were saying. Not couldn't remember exactly what, but they were saying something about them two face each other was like a first. Excuse me. Yeah, man. But yeah, then we had Olympic karate champion. I forgot his name, but they say he's from Saudi Arabia. He came to help Mansoor by karate kicking Mustafa Ali in the head, knocking him out. And I forgot who they said the guy's name was, but apparently he was well known in Saudi Arabia. We would get the next match, which was AJ Styles and Omos versus RK Bro for the Raw Tag Team Championships. This match was a very good match too. AJ Styles and Randy Orton in particular, along with Matt Riddle, it's like all three of them was like kind of carrying Omos, but they kind of was like the bread and butter of this match because they know how to put on a good match. Omos came and did his big guys, usual domination. Like, it was cool to see that, like, Randy and him go toe to toe, and when Randy tried to hit him, he'll stumble over and turn his face, and then he'll come back real quick. That's all you got? That's the hard you can hit? He kept challenging him until he started pummeling on Randy Orton. I think Randy and Riddle was like going back and forth with him. They kept tagging themselves and trying to do something with Omos, but then it came to where they had to ice. I think eventually they ended up finally isolating AJ Styles from Omos, and they was able to like distract him, get him off the ring apron before they hit the RKO and the folding bro time for the win. So like I said, good match. The fourth match would be the finals of the Queen's Crown tournament with Zelina Vega versus Doudrop. I actually enjoyed this match because it was good to see Doudrop get some type of push, and also Zelina Vega. Usually with at least when I was younger. Now by younger I mean back in the early 2000s or maybe the 90s, when the king of the ring or becoming Intercontinental Champion, either becoming United States Champion, King of the Ring, or Intercontinental Champion, that would kind of elevate you to that main event status. So it's cool to see that either one could have used it. They didn't make they didn't make Doudrop look like she didn't belong. She didn't look bad in her loss, and she didn't look great. It wasn't one of the greatest matches, but it wasn't a bad match. And Zelina Vega didn't look good. It didn't look bad either in her win, or it actually with Doudrop did it kind of balance out the whole. While Zelina being there instead of Liv Morgan or somebody like that, but Zelina will get the victory, and she is now your inaugural first ever Queen's Crown winner. I guess now she will be known as Queen, as they were saying at the end of her match. She is now known as Queen Zelina Vega. The next match to follow this will be the Bobby Lashley versus Goldberg match. Now, this is the other match I was talking about at the beginning, where it kind of got so brutal that these guys actually didn't really like cut themselves up and busted. Not, I wouldn't say busted themselves open here, but I think like towards the end of, you saw that Bobby Lashley's arm, or one I think it was his right arm, was cut up badly, because you could see like half of his like arm, like right here, was just blood. It was nothing but blood, and you could see the cuts and the welts and stuff on his arm. I think Goldberg was cut on the top of his head and somewhere on his arm, or somewhere else. But I'm pretty sure he had 2 cuts. But Bobby Lashley was like the worst. But it seemed like Bobby Lashley always getting cut or busted open in his matches. It said something to me that Bobby Lashley kind of works. He have to work unsafe or stiff, because he's always hurting himself. But that's neither here nor there. The match itself was good. This was another good, brutal match where, it wasn't just about beating him. It really was about, maiming him, or, Goldberg trying to really end Bobby Lashley for putting his hands on his son. And that's what we got. We got the typical matchup between the two. They would hit their moves. I think Goldberg eventually would hit the spear jackhammer combo, but instead of going for the pin, he went to make Bobby Lashley suffer some more. This is when the Hurt Business would get involved. They would try to help Bobby Lashley, but they just got decimated. And I know it was a no holds barred, but I didn't know it was like false counts anywhere, because Goldberg would like then spear. They would fight at the top of the ring with kendo sticks, and then I think Goldberg speared Bobby off the top of the ramp onto some tables, and apparently he pinned him right there, and that Goldberg is your winner. They had to help Bobby to the back. Pretty sure next time we see Bobby, he gonna have like a bandage on his arm, because his arm was cut up bad. But yeah, Goldberg is your winner of that match. That was a good match, a good brutal match. I enjoyed that. So your next match would be Xavier Woods versus Finn Balor, the King of the Ring finals. This was an actually good, impressive match. Like I expected Finn Balor, by him being a former Universal Champion and main eventer, that he would have the upper hand, or he would be the better looking of the two. I had an inkling what the winner was going to be, and when that person won, I was like, okay. So they really did go with that, because this person just been screaming it. But yeah, the ring work was good. I was surprised that Finn Balor wasn't like dominant. He was dominant at some points, but that it was mostly a well balanced offense and defense from them two. So the matchup didn't seem like one side was favored over the other. Both sides could have pulled out the victory, but in the end, Xavier Woods would pull out the unthinkable and be yet another world champion. And this time, instead of Bobby Lashley, this time in the form of Finn Balor. And yeah, he's your winner. And the new King of the Ring, King Xavier Woods. Yeah, that was about it. The next match would be Biggie versus Drew McIntyre. I want to say too that I think we had backstage promos. I'm not too sure, but I'm pretty sure we had backstage promos for Biggie and Drew, along with, at this point, I think either before this match or after this match, we had a promo with like Becky Lynch, Sasha Banks, and eventually Bianca Bel-Air. They all gave like promos and stuff, so I just want to throw it in there. We did get some couple of promos. I didn't write them down, but remember we did get some promos with all three ladies, because their match was coming up soon. But this match did not disappoint me. it surely had like at times Drew. I think Drew had more offense and dominance than Big E did, but when Big E came with it, he came with it. So it was like it kind of balanced itself out because even though Drew had most of the momentum and dominance going, when Big E would come back with his flurry, he would end up regaining some of that dominance. So I guess it was a well balanced or somewhat well balanced dominance. But in the end, Big E would hit a second big ending. I think he hit one earlier. Like they both hit their moves. Like Drew hit the Claymore, Big E hit the big ending. But they both kicked out. But I think Big E went for it for even from the top ropes, but Drew McIntyre was able to maneuver himself. But yeah, the second big ending to Drew McIntyre will be his downfall as he got pinned 1, 2, 3, and Big E is still your champion. Moving on. Let's see what we got back here. Yeah, so the next match would be Becky Lynch versus Bianca Belair and Sasha Banks for the Smackdown Women's Championship. I guess it was predictable too because with the whole Charlotte Flair winning to retain her title and now bringing the title to SmackDown. And now Becky here in this match, you got a great match between the two. But I will give that. I'm glad there was no DQ finish throughout the whole night. Every match, even the pre-show match, had a 1, 2, 3 or submission-like victory. But Becky Lynch versus Bianca Belair and Sasha Banks was a great match. The women put up all the stops. At times, you thought Bianca was going to win. Even Becky and Sasha, you couldn't really tell. But then, as the match went on, it was just like, okay, yeah, I see who they favoring, who they gonna let win, and that's what happened. Becky Lynch in the end, I think she hit. I think Sasha got hit with the KOD. I think Becky tried to take advantage of it, but Sasha would intervene, and I think Sasha went to go pick up Becky, but I think Becky rolled her up, and I think what they call that, the schoolboy that roll up, and I think that's what they call that roll up, a schoolboy, but she did end up rolling Sasha Banks up for the 1, 2, 3, letting Sasha take the pinfall. While I think both Becky, both. I was about to say something, but it don't look like it's about to be over between Becky and Bianca. I think Charlotte and Sasha go probably feud, but who knows? I haven't watched SmackDown, so I don't know what happened on SmackDown. But your main event was Roman Reigns versus Brock Lesnar. This match was a good match, especially for Brock Lesnar and Roman Reigns. They put on one grueling match. They basically made you believe that the heel Roman Reigns was not going to be able to take on Brock Lesnar. And he certainly had his moments where, Brock Lesnar either wouldn't stay down or Brock Lesnar was beating him. And he had his moments of doubt, but he ended up pushing through it, and with the help from the Usos and Paul Heyman, who I don't even know if he was throwing, that's their mystery. Was he throwing the title to Brock Lesnar or was he throwing it to Roman Reigns? They would tug a war over it, but the Usos would get involved. I think they hit him 2 super kicks. And with the they hit Brock Lesnar with 2 super kicks, and then I think Roman Reigns hit him with the spear. I couldn't remember because they hit somebody else, and I couldn't remember who they hit. But they hit Brock Lesnar with 2 super kicks, and Roman Reigns hit him with the spear. I was about to say spear, jackhammer, with the Superman punch and spear combination to retain the title. I'm trying to remember. Oh yeah, then they after that Roman just basically held up the title in victory. Paul Heyman apologized and was making excuses for why he what he thought might have happened, but other than that, yeah, this was a good match. Roman did his thing, Brock did his thing. I can't say nothing more. This was a 8-star type match, and Roman did his thing. But I wonder who would be Roman's next challenger. It might be Finn again. No, Finn is on Raw. So, and the roster went into effect today. So, yeah, I wonder who's going to challenge Roman Reigns next. But that's all I got. That's all the matches. And if you enjoyed this video, then hit that button right there in the upper right corner for all of my reviews. And then hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button. And hit that notification button to get notified when I drop videos. And as always, hit any one of these videos for more of my amazing content. I'll be back with some more. Did I forget something? No, yeah, okay. Yeah, I'll be back with some more, guys. So, peace.